We've been talking about the different types of change that people go through and that organizations go through. And it was interesting, one of the students in my session was talking about this difference between technical change and adaptive change. And he was saying for the first time, he felt like his interests and his passions and his ideas were at the center of what he was doing. And for me, that kind of speaks to the mission of R.I.S.E. When we launched it, and kind of the joys of what we've seen in the past 2 weeks.
R.I.S.E. stands for Reflective Interest-Based Student Experiences. It's a 2-week interest-based learning intensive that happens at the end of our school year. Interest-based learning is where students really dive in to their interests, either something that they're interested in just like the definition of the world, like they'd like to know more about, or interested because they've made some sort of connection in their class and they'd like to take that learning even deeper and extend their school year.
It's been many years in the making. 5 years ago that Peter, Langella, and I were looking at different models for how our school year could end. Really ways to engage our student body and get them invested and excited and launching out of their school year with positivity and a sense of accomplishment and a goal of lifelong learning.
I think the power is that students are having an opportunity to engage in something that they're really excited in. So they feel more invested and are connected to their learning in a way that doesn't happen in the typical classroom.
They're all coming back. They don't talk very much on the way to our locations, and on the way back, they cannot stop talking because they're so excited about what they did.
It was far more laid back than any classroom setting I've been in, but it was a really interesting environment to work in. I still got a lot done.
Kids get to do something they never thought of existed before, and then they're actually doing stuff. And being able to have that really tangible contact with whatever they're interested in.
There's a lot of research, especially one study that we particularly looked at the University of Wisconsin, that says that when students are learning about subjects that they're deeply interested in, that they're able to sustain the excitement about the learning experience for much longer, and that their learning goes much deeper, and they're able to gather the concepts much more quickly.
One of the really important things is that we designed this program to, at its core, include our self-direction and responsible and involved citizenship standards. Every curriculum that was built by our teachers had to align with one of those two standards. They created targets that were attainable during the 10-day period that really helped students understand who they were as learners and how they can move forward as members of our community.
A lot of the power comes just from the fact that it's different. Just, I think, having a different perspective on some of the same topics that you see in school, the same learning goals are still there, but just giving students an alternative path and an alternative schedule even is really, really beneficial for many of them.
We had a really great opportunity in our first year to create coursework that really aligned not just with our students' interests, but also with our faculty interests.
I also really get to work with kids in something else that I'm interested in that isn't math.
On the one hand, it's fun for the teachers. It's fun for me to be able to do something that I'm passionate about, but I don't teach during the year.
The hallmark of the CVU teacher is someone who is engaged and energized by working with young people. And I think when we take a step back and we let, as much as we can, young people's interests drive their educational opportunities, someone who's engaged in education in the first place and who's fascinated by growth, you just kind of, it fuels you and it's energizing. And you get to, for me, one of the fun things to watch is the way the relationships change.
We had a lot of great energy from our faculty around the topics that they were passionate about sharing, and our students noticed.
For me, one of the best parts of the experience was accessing parts of the school and teachers that I'd never experienced before. So I've never taken an art class, I've never used the AV room, and so I just got to experience all of these things and learn how to use technology and learn how to do art things that I had never done before.
A lot of the exploratory parts of just kind of finding what I'm interested in and just kind of getting to play around with other people who are interested in it is really powerful, and just kind of keeping that mindset of all right, it's okay to do things that aren't I don't have to devote myself to this, but it is still something I'm interested in, and it is something I should still pursue.
We're really excited about some of the programs here, especially the ones that are very different from what's offered in our regular year course catalog. For example, there's a program called French Cabaret, which are students getting together to put on a cabaret show in 2 weeks in the theater. It's students working in the production side, the acting side, the singing side, and bringing in the French language side as well. Many students were able to take on their own independent studies, either their own self-designed project or taking advantage of an existing course.
My project was primarily self-directed, and so it was a lot of learning about how to motivate myself to work on a project without formal structure.
There are many students who are involved in dual enrollment courses, so they're taking a college class during this time. There is a group of 3 students who are working on coding and machine learning, and they're developing a platform to help with scheduling students.
We had this wide variety of interests coming from our faculty, and our students really latched onto that.
There's a class about making abstract art, where students are learning not only the concepts behind that art genre, but also putting that into practice and creating unbelievable canvases they're going to hang in the library over the next year. We have our AP government teacher from this year teaching a class on women in Hindu mythology, and it's something that is not touched on in our curriculum at all, and it's amazing for students to be able to spend 2 weeks diving into those concepts from a culture that is very different from the culture of most of our students here in Vermont. We have a group of special educators, science teachers, reading specialists, humanities teachers leading a class called Bike Vermont, where they're traveling around the region, especially utilizing the Catamount Outdoor Family Center in Williston, spending their whole week biking, but not only doing the act of biking, but learning about trail maintenance, learning about forest stewardship, and really putting the whole package together of what it means to be a successful citizen in the state.
The time in your life that is high school is a time where you have such a learning curve, both as a person and with academics. The people here, especially the teachers, are so good at fostering curiosity and compassion in the students. And the students, definitely by their senior year, really learn how to be a community and how to support each other.
On behalf of the team who helped to create R.I.S.E, we'd really like to thank all the members of our community, students, faculty, staff, parents, community members. Everyone's really trusted us with this new initiative, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without all of you.